everybody. Happy, I think it's Labor Day weekend. I'm Gaye Ann Bruno. I'm the host and producer of Between the Sheets podcast. Thank you for joining us this Friday. We're on the first and third Friday of every month. Like our Facebook page, Between the Sheets podcast, and follow me on Instagram. Tonight is a great show. It's, this show is all about women. Not that I don't have men on, but it's about women empowerment, and we always try, and we're all over the place. And I really do agree and on everything that we are all doing. We're all separate, individualistic women trying to make it in the world. And the more important part is that we actually support each other. And I think the more women support women, the more things can have a change in this country and in the world. Because let's face it, women, we know what the fuck we're doing. Seriously, just saying. But it is Friday, September 4th. And we have a wonderful guest tonight. She's an octogenarian. Some of you do know her. I will tell all stuff about her later, but I want to check in with the girls. We have Mara Shane. Mara Shane, how have you been? Unmute yourself. Okay, Mara. Hey, Kurt, can you unmute? Oh, okay, cool.
Sure. I'm sure a lot of friends wish they could do the mute button on me a lot from my sister. But yeah, I've been doing good. I've been exercising 5 times a week and eating on a clean diet and really really taking control of my health, and that makes me feel good.
That's you look beautiful always, but if whatever you do makes you feel better and more confident, then we all support you. Thank
you. It's great to be here.
I know, guys, we got to get in this studio. This is like fun, but not so much anymore. Cara Noble.
Hi. Yeah, I've been working in my garage, making myself a mosaic workroom.
Is it garage or garage? What are you doing?
Garage.
No, English actually say garage.
Garage.
So yeah, I've got now rows and rows of all my different colors and broken crockery and my bits and pieces. Now I'm going to start my next mosaic soon.
What are you doing? Where are you starting it?
I'm going to do like mid-century modern into 60s. I don't know how or what I'm doing yet, but I've got some great colors and crazy pieces.
Going to be amazing as always. And then we have Kimberly Sanchez.
Hi. I've been gone for a minute, so it's nice to be back.
Any news or anything you want to spread with joy? How's work going?
Oh, boring as fuck.
Well, we did go out we did have dinner last night. So it was nice to see. It's so funny because I put on Facebook hanging with my homegirls, and it was so nice to see at least 2 or 4 of the few. And Cara, we will be coming to your house real soon. Don't you worry. And then the newest and youngest lady on the list and on the panel, my niece, and it's not really nepotism. We're not really related, but I feel a kinship to her. This is her second time joining Between the Sheets. She is an old soul. And Alana, what the hell, like Alana?
It's funny that you say Alana because that's what my grandma wanted to call me.
Seriously?
So my mom named me Alana. And my grandmother, who you've heard a lot about, wanted to name, she said, well, no, it's Alana. My mom said, well, if you call her that, she's not going to turn around. But whenever someone says Alana, I respond. So thank you for calling me Alana.
Well, you're welcome. It was really funny just to say about her grandmother, who I do not know. But it was funny because the minute she popped on tonight, the way she looked, I said, oh my God, you look just like your grandmother. So I think she was probably channeling through me the Alana portion.
Yes. Definitely. Yeah. From the pictures you've seen of her, I think I do resemble her a little bit, and I'm very glad for that.
Awesome. Well, welcome again to the show, and I'm glad you're back. And yeah, I'm glad I'm glad you didn't get scared off by the lunacy.
Never.
So
you can't scare me.
So here we are. We have this stylish woman, founder of Amazing Women in Action. She'll tell you her age. Can I tell you your age? 81, right?
Yeah, tomorrow.
Tomorrow is her birthday, of Virgo. She's an author, a speaker, a mentor, a business coach, and quite frankly, wait till you hear the stories, an adventurous woman.
Yes.
Her first business went from 0 to 7 figures when everyone said she couldn't. She fought all odds. She's been fighting for women's rights all her life.
Yeah,
a lot, finding a voice, stepping into power, and making people's dreams or assisting people's dreams come true. She's a grandmother. six
Seven.
and
Seven.
one grandson. So that's a total of 7. You have 2 daughters.
Yes.
And, find a deep voice that wants to come out and declare, I'm here. And she is here. And she is here with us. And let's see, I met Arlene probably on the phone a while back, as I usually do meet a lot of people. It's the cold calls or whatever. And we had a conversation, and she was picking my brain really early on about the podcast, even before this incarnation. And then the next time I saw her was with Kim. We were going to an art gallery opening, and I parked my car, and there was Kim Sanchez and there was Arlene, and we were all going to walk in together. And then I got a call from another friend saying, wait for me. But, we chatted a little bit. And then after, I think we made a few calls, and then we saw each other at the Pates. And then, when I started my free tarot card business, Arlene was one of my first readings. And from that reading, probably after the reading, because I wanted it to be very neutral, because I didn't want to know her. I did the reading, and then after the reading, we talked, almost 3 hours one day.
Oh yeah, we were chatting away.
And she's an East Coaster, and I'm an East Coaster, and you know the way that goes, because you guys want to put a mute button on me all the time, I'm sure.
No.
But this is this is Arlene, and I've been wanting her to be on the show. So of course, Arlene, why don't you first start telling us about? Let's start from the beginning, and then we'll go backwards about the amazing woman in action that you've created.
Well, the Amazing Women in Action, years ago, I needed to learn how to do Survey Monkey. Okay, I am not a technical person, I got to tell you. If I hear technical, it's like, no, get me out of here. So somebody said, call up this woman, Leslie. So I called up this woman. I said, could you help me? So we start chit-chatting, and she's like, she's a grandmother. She's a hot air balloon pilot. And I'm going, oh my God, that's what you're doing? You're a hot air balloon pilot? Well, I've been up in a fighter jet, and I've done this. And we're like, oh my God, we're amazing women. Bam, Amazing Women in Action. And that's where that came from. So we started it, and I started interviewing women because I want women to tell their stories. That to me is like the biggest thing. There needs to be, tell your story so other women can say, I'm who she is. And if she could do it, I can do it. And she's inspiration. So I started doing it on Skype, but Skype was so bad. It was like I was pulling hair out of my head from Skype. And then I stopped it. And then I just said, to heck with it. I'm bringing it back again. So I have a Facebook group called Amazing Women in Action.
Wow.
And that's how that got started.
So, I'm going to bring up your history. We didn't really talk about what's taboo, but I think you're like me. Our lives are an open book. Yeah. You originally, you were married with obviously a man and children. When you were married, were you an entrepreneur back then, or were you the atypical wife?
I was the atypical wife. I got married. I was 20 years old. I had my first daughter when I was 21. The next one was 23. All I was programmed, especially in those days, was to, get married and have kids. In fact, at one point, I went down to see my mother, and she's going to bingo. And she says, why are you here? You don't even like bingo. And I said, Mom, I'm not happy. She said, you have children. You have to stay in the marriage. So I stayed in the marriage for 19 years. To me, it was like probably 17 years too long. But whatever, because I had no place to go. There was no support system. Where was I going to go? The only book about raising your kid was Dr. Spock. There wasn't all this. There was nobody to encourage me. Nobody. And I didn't want to go. Where was I going to go with my kids? I didn't want to live with my parents. We didn't make a lot of money in those days. So it was like, where was I going to go? So I stayed in the marriage. So actually, he met somebody that said, what are you doing in this marriage? And he left, and it was like a shock because I had planned to leave when my kids were both in high school. Out of high school, ready to go into college. So then, and I was when I was about 9 years old, I had this, it's called my ET moment, when ET touched. So my ET moment was with women that we grew up. There were 3 of us that grew up, and one was saying, look, I'm getting boobs. And I went like this. And I'm like, oh, magic touch. I think I like women.
At 9.
That was 9. Yeah.
Wow. Okay. But
yeah, but
you
there was nothing. You know, what was a gay woman? It was like I looked like a man. I didn't know from anything. Wasn't around that. I didn't see anything. I didn't know. So when we broke up from the marriage, I'm segueing into what happened. When I broke up with the marriage, I started actually going to the bisexual center. And I saw in a magazine in San Francisco that there was a women's gathering from the bisexual center. I said, I'm going to go. So if I tell you I smoked a joint, I was high as hell because I was scared to death. That I walked in and here's all these women. I'm like beside myself. But then I joined the center and I was the social director. I started women's support group. And so I got really active in the bisexual community.
Now, do you consider yourself bisexual now or
yes?
Gay? Bisexual.
No, I will always label myself bisexual. Whether or not I don't choose to be with men anymore at the moment. I'll never know because I judge people for who they are, not, what's between their legs. So, but I really prefer being with women. I'm not interested in being with men right now, but I still always will label myself as bisexual.
So how did you get involved in the LGBT plus community? Like what, like this, like you, I know you went to the group but then what have you done for them? Because, I came out, God, in 1986 and I was, 22. Because I didn't know what I was. I thought I was straight for years or bi. No, I used to call myself bi because I hadn't been with a man or a woman. So I thought, well, since I haven't figured it out, I'll just call it bi because I haven't done anything. And I got very involved also in the beginning with ACT UP and the movement, but not really labeling myself as anything. So what have you done? What are your achievements that we should every women, bi, gay, straight should thank you for? Because I know there's a laundry list of stuff that you've done.
There's a lot of stuff. I was in a book called Bi Any Other Name, B-I Any Other Name. I've been out there. I've been on television about being bisexual. I was on Newsweek magazine. There was an article on bisexuality and AIDS, and my story is in Newsweek magazine. I was in the Oakland Trib. I was out there. Once I came out, I was out. To me, the closet door was shut. No closets for me. I have to be who I am. So there was a lot of things I did. I also dated someone that was transgender, and I became very active in the transgender community at the same time. So I have there's a lot to my life. It's not that.
But there are awards and stuff that you've gotten. There are things that you have been accredited for.
Well, one thing I'm accredited for, which I had no clue, is that I took a picture at Gay Pride in San Francisco. That is a very famous picture. I had no idea.
Wow.
And until somebody said to me, can we use your picture? Can we use your, I'm saying, yeah. And people are saying, well, you should, it's your picture. You should, get your rights to it. And it's like, I don't give a damn. I didn't even know it was a popular picture.
What's it?
But it's a very famous picture out there.
Yeah,
what is it? I want to see it.
Maybe we can find it.
Kirk can find it. Where is it at? Do you know?
What's it at? If you go under bisexual, Lani, Lani, and it's called. Oh shit! If I'd have known, I would have had the book in front of me and showed you the picture. Darn. But it's a famous picture I took. I happened to turn around and snap a picture, and people are using it, and it's like it became famous. Somebody wants to put it in their book, and I'm like, oh my God, this is fabulous. In those days, there were no really awards that we ever got for anything. What we did as a bisexual community was to become accepted. It was like when we were marching a parade, everybody would yell at us and scream at us, make up your mind, get off the fence, come on, you're really gay. And we were like, no, we're bisexual. So we had a lot of problems. And so one year we we actually won an award for the most outrageous contingent because we did with Mayor Diane, Princess Diane, Princess Diane. So we did a lot of stuff in that. And I was David Bowie. I was dressed as David Bowie with my white punky hair and my silver outfit. And that won us an award, which was like amazing.
Well, I want to segue against this. Tell us about phone sex.
Oh, okay.
800 phone sex.
To the photograph. Didn't we just see it snap up? Was that the photograph?
What?
I think we
That
found
was a photograph.
Yeah,
Is that the
Yeah.
photograph, Arlene?
I don't see anything.
Oh, you have to go to gallery view on top.
Oh, gallery view. Because it's a great shot. I actually don't recognize it, but I love those iconic shots that we all
Where do I go? I have no. If you're talking to non-technical, where do I go?
To go to the upper right corner of your screen. It says does it say speaker view or gallery view?
Oh, I don't have that.
Mine's on speaker view and I still see it.
Well, it's
We'll figure it out. I don't want to take time away from this.
Yeah, anyhow. So what happened is I was working, I broke up with my husband and I was working in retail and I was one step to being a buyer for Macy's. And I decided to leave because I didn't like the politics. I didn't like the way anybody treated me. And I said, I'm out of here. So I'm sitting at home, ready to go look for a job. And I hear on the radio about this new business called phone sex. And I'm like, I could do that. And why I could do it is because there's an organization in San Francisco called San Francisco Sex Information Hotline. SFSI is what we call SFSI. And it's a place that people will tell kids to call up if they have questions about sex. So I took the training. So I got desensitized to anything about sex. So it didn't, we'd sit across from each other and say every word imaginable. It was like, the one part that was the most fun is we were in a room with, now this is the old days when they had regular cameras, the reel cameras. And the whole table, long table, lined up, I don't know how many reel cameras. There must have been like 50. And on this wall are all these porn, right? And first you're looking and going, oh my God, look at that. Look at that. Oh my God, look at that. And then you focus on the one that you like, oh, I like that the best. I'm going to watch that. And then you're like, when is this over? So we got so desensitized. So when I heard about phone sex, I said, well, I could do that. I had no money. I was eating popcorn for dinner. I was living on unemployment. I had a boyfriend that would help pay for my rent. But obviously, I borrowed money. I did whatever I had to do to make this business work. And it went from zero, because I was at zero, to a multi-million-dollar company.
Wow.
Because phone sex was very hot in those days.
So that's what made you your millions.
Yes.
Wait,
In fact,
how is that?
1 year, my CPA, he says, do you want to know how much you make? Because I didn't know. I had a bookkeeper came in every day and handled all that. And he told me, I'm like, really? Really? I made that much money? Really? Little me from Arlene, Krantz from Philadelphia never had any money? Really? So it was like, it was wonderful. And my family, I did lots of things.
Sorry,
Mark.
was this a phone sex business with like you created the name of the business and you started a whole phone sex business?
Yeah, in the beginning, I did the phone sex because I needed to know what it was. No big deal. I hired my friends to come and do the phone sex. And then it became bigger. Then we hired, we had people, and I had an office at Hollywood and Vine. And we would have all these transgender. They come in these outfits, half naked. The building kicked us out. We don't want these people. Oh my God, it was hysterical.
Around
So
what
it became a big business. There was
What year was this around?
Probably 89.
Oh, okay.
It was when 97. You remember 976?
Yeah, the 976
Okay,
numbers.
that's when I started 97. And what I also did is I did a lot of other things. I did cassette tapes. There's cassette tapes in those days. So I take my friends and I take them into a studio and I say, okay, we're going to do cassette tapes, women for men and women for women. So I would say, hey, Gail, hey, come here. We're going to go do a scene that you and I are turned on to each other. And we're inviting our friend. We're going to do a threesome. So we would sit in there with no script because we were all in the sexual community. It's not like we were sexual, but we were in the sexual community, with SFSI and all that. And it's like, that's what we did. We got in there. We did SM. We did all kinds of stuff. And then I would go to the Women's Music Festival. I got to tell you, women, I'd try to sell my cassette tapes and they'd say, oh, we don't need this. I said, don't you have sex? don't you want a little excitement added into your life? And it's like, square.
Yeah, none of us are square on here, I don't think.
No, I don't think so.
So then after you made that, and obviously now you had money to invest, what was your next, what did you, like, sort of after you did that, like, what did you do with your money? Did you reinvest in something? Did you create organization? Like, what kind of things happened for you after that?
Well, what I did is I helped my family, you know, my daughters and my parents. I paid for trips. I would have anniversary and birthday parties at the Ritz-Carlton, and, you know, hire a limousine to pick them up and take them to lunch and do fun stuff with that. I invested because I was in the stock market in those days, which was fun. I loved it. It was great. I bought some property. I'm not a real estate person. It's like, that was not for me, but it was fun while I did it. I even bought property in Panama and all that, whatever. But it's not my thing. I'm not a property person. I'm not real estate. I didn't have a mentor. That's when a mentor is so important. I never had a mentor to show me, you know? Then that was a big problem. So, you know, I didn't know how to do it. But no, then what I really did was
you did it. It didn't matter if you didn't know how to do it. I did it.
I did it. But the thing is that what I really got to do was to learn more about myself, who I was. So I became a hypnotherapist. I'm a master NLP practitioner. I'm a master Reiki practitioner. I did all these energy healing. I followed a spiritual master doing energy healing, opening chakras. So I kind of explored. I spent a lot of years exploring who I was. You know, who is this person? Because it's the first time I was able to do something like that.
So tell us what really Amazing Women in Action, like, I know you have the web, I know you have the page. What are you doing for women? How, like, what does the organization do?
Well, it's a page right now.
Okay.
And it's a page. And what I really, you know, it's a good question because I'm still figuring it out, truthfully. You know, if it's about being honest here, it's like, I'm still figuring out what do I want it to be. I really want to go back to interviewing women again and having women tell their stories, because the stories that came out when I did the interviews were like, just blew me away. And I really get into, you know, I'm like you, I listen to what people say. And if they say something, I don't let it go. I'll go further with it and go deeper with it. And some stories were pretty amazing. And it's like I'm probably going to do that again. But I have big visions to go. I wanted to go to, like,
well, you're still so young. You've got your whole life
right,
ahead
honey.
of you.
I got a lot of years left in my life.
So
every time
I love her energy.
My sister's like, Arlene, why are you doing all these things? I say, Lynn, I'm not dead.
So, I mean, what advice? I mean, having done everything on your own and not having a mentor, and I'm sure you have, you know, throughout the years, mentored others. What, as a mentor, is your advice to young women or any woman starting a business or putting their life back on track? What are your key suggestions?
You know, a lot of it is to believe in themselves and not listen to the people that tell them they can't. Because that is the biggest thing. Everybody will tell you, when I started my phone sex business, only one person stood by me. Everybody else said, oh, you'll never make money. Who's going to pay you for that? And I always say, when I drove up in my Jaguar, they kind of changed their tune about who I was.
Well, because a lot of women in general, I mean, Kim is a businesswoman. You know, Kim owned a restaurant. You know, Cara, she used to be in entertainment, but, you know, and Mara is an artist, and Alana, you know, she's going to be a writer, because we're going to work on that, but she's a designer, she had a success, another one. So Alana, why don't you tell Arlene your story?
Well, I was actually going to say, she's inspiring me to hear about this, because she's lived so many lives, and she found this authenticity after she didn't know where she was going to end up. She figured it out, and she made those moves, and she like blossomed into this whole nother person, which to me is incredible. And she's still blossoming, and that is beautiful to me at her age. And there's endless possibilities for her still, I can tell. So I mean, I'm looking at her going, how can I also be more authentic? Because that's what I'm like getting inspired most by, hearing this story. And I'm in the corporate world. I get dragged down by men every day, but not that they're bad, because you also say in your page here that to not blame men, which I appreciate that, because we're responsible for our own actions, for our own success. So I believe everything you said in your page. I really, really like what you're doing. And I've been trying to figure out a way to pursue something like this in my own life, is to get that mentorship, to get that motivation, to get the inspiration to move forward in my life. So, battling the corporate world, it's been a great lesson, but I know that's not my end game. So, whether it's designing or whether it's writing, I'm like you, I want to just fill out every fiber of my being and just really embrace life for everything it is. And
well, that's what I was in the corporate world in Macy's. It's like, because they can hire you and they can spit you out. Mm-hmm. And I don't want that. I want to be in control of my life. I don't want anybody controlling me. This is my life, my time to do what I want.
Arlene, I don't think anybody can. I'm scared of you, sister. But I mean, but each of us on this, I mean, and again, like the women that, that are attracted to the show, the women that are attracted to people like us, all of us. I mean, I think a lot of people, I know, because people have said it, they look to people like us who, I have a corporate job. I've been in the corporate world for 32 years. Have I loved every second of it? No, but it's not about the creative and the artistic of what I'm doing. That freedom is amazing. It's when you have to fit within the box of the corporate structure, which is probably why I am not running CBS right now, because I got a mouth, and and I don't know how to play the game. And some people play it really well. And then there's the honest people who don't know how to play. And I think, but there is this business savvy that we have. And I've learned to sort of balance the corporate and the creative. So I, like you, and we all have side projects. I mean, at one point, for 4 years, I was managing rock bands. I had a radio show. I had a podcast. I was doing 3 gay prides. I was writing for magazines. I was DJing. And it was, I never was tired, because I was following my passion. Yeah. I think, inspiration, creativity, all of that seats in passion. Kim, she works in a corporate job. Her heart lies in restauranting. I don't even know if that's a word. Restaurateuring, whatever, cooking. All right. Cooking, but with a degree. But we go through what we need to go through. And ultimately, we always strive for that end game, that goal. And I think maybe as mentors, because we all are mentors, because we're all successful here on this. Cara had an amazing entertainment career, and she still does. Mara is an artist, and, things are starting to break out for her. And Alana, you had that successful line of clothing at a very young age that you made a shit ton of money at your age. And it's, so we sit there, and as I think once you follow your passion, you've got to know that you can segment things. But as long as you never let that fire and that light of that passion extinguish, there's always going to be movement forward to anybody, any men, woman, I don't care who they are. I mean, anyone, do you guys agree?
But we have to be brave to pursue those things. And I think what she's trying to instill into young women is you have it in you. You don't have to wait for it. You don't have to wish for it. You can go and do it. So she wants to inspire women to do that. So I would love to know more about how she does that, and where that comes from, and what she says to the people who are asking, how do I find that inspiration? How do I make that move?
Yeah, you have to stand in your power and be brave and bold. You have to have belief. It really comes from your subconscious. It comes from your brain, because it's like 5%. You can figure out how to do it. There's a million ways. Go on the internet. You want to know how. But if it's not in your head, if it's not in your heart, it's not going to happen. You have to push through all the stuff that stops you. When my mother called me up when I was starting my phone sex. I didn't tell her what I was doing, because God forbid I should say I'm in the phone sex business. So it's like, I don't tell my mother. But, but it was like, nobody really knew. All they knew is I made money. I never told them. But, my mother would call up and she'd say, And she said, how you doing? And I said, well, it's really hard, trying to put this business together. And she would say to me, well, if you would get a job, you would have a steady check and you wouldn't have to worry about money. And I said to her, don't call me if that's what you have to say. So until you can get that brave and say to people that are trying to stop you, if that's what you have to say to me, don't talk to me. Or if that's what you have to say to me, say something nice to me. Don't tell me what I can't do. Tell me what I can do. So you need to stand in your power and be brave and open your mouth. And don't because everybody's going to knock you down. Nobody wants you, truthfully, very few people want you to be successful. Because if you're successful and you make money, then they think, oh my God, they'll never talk to me again. So I don't want her to be successful. It's an awful thing, but that's true.
So Arlene, in starting your business, like the phone sex business, I mean, most people have to start business with some sort of capital, some money.
I borrowed money, honey. I did credit cards. I would call you up and say, hey, listen, could you lend me $1,000? I'll pay you 20% interest. And people would say to me, 20%, that's a lot. I said, I don't give a damn. I want the money. I didn't give a damn. I wanted the money. It's like I found an investor. I found a nerdy guy from Silicon Valley, San Jose. And he comes to San Francisco. And I said, well, let me show you what my business is. So I took him to Broadway in San Francisco. And I took him to the strip joints. And I gave him a bunch of quarters. And I stuck him in the room where the thing goes up and the woman's nude and doing her thing. And he dropped the quarter and she said, don't pick it up. Don't touch anything that lands on the floor because God knows what's on the floor. And I said, that's my business. Do you have a problem with it? And he said, no. Okay, then give me my money.
But you're very self-confident. Even when, things sort of weren't perfect or you were going through some issues, you just really believed in yourself and was self-confident. But a lot of people, they're afraid to take that step. They want it. They have the dreams, they have the ideas, but they're in fear. So, how do you
that's why people, look, I have mentors too. In the beginning, I didn't have anybody. I had nobody. I just did it out of instinct. But I have mentors now. We all need them no matter what part in our life we're at, no matter where we're at in our career, no matter where we're at in our business, because we always need somebody on the outside looking in. It's like, oh, I didn't realize I could do that. And to encourage, it's like, who are you going to talk to? You can't talk to your family. They don't really want to hear the stuff you're going through. Your friends are very judgmental. This is generalizing, but that's what happens. And it's like, so who are you going to go to? Who's there to encourage you? Who's there to support you? Who's there to give you rah? Come on, you can do it. I know it. Come on. That's how we'll talk again next week. I want you to, go do this. What is it you want? That's why mentors and coaches are so important. Has anybody ever win a championship without a mentor or coach? Nobody. Well, it's the same thing in business. Don't you think that Bill Gates was talking to, what's the guy from what's that other guy, the older guy that's been I can't remember his name, but they all talk amongst each other because they all support each other and they all ask each other questions and they're their mentors. They all mentor each other. Everybody does that. And people have to realize that you can't do it alone. It's a very lonely life to go be an entrepreneur.
Yeah,
it really is. It's a hard life. It's not easy.
I felt like I muscled it for so long and I just thought I could do it by myself. And the older I get, the more I realize I want that wisdom. I want someone to provide me a little bit more of their know-how and what they've been through. I just feel like it would help me in some way. And I can't do it on my own. And I'm now realizing that I want some muscle behind it.
You really can't. I can't do it on my own. I have an idea that I'm going to bring next year that's going to be kick-ass. I can't wait to working on it now. I'm not saying what it is, but it's going to be kick-ass. I'm excited about it. But it's like I talk to people. I can't do it on my own. We can't do it on our own because who's there to listen to us? Who's there to support us when we're freaking out? Oh my God, I can't believe I'm doing this. Who am I? I'm going to cry. I can't think we need somebody to say, hey, I'm here to support you. You're going to do it no matter what. I'm here. I'm here to help you, to guide you, to support you, to make it happen. How bad do you want it? You want it bad enough? You're going to get it. You know, and you want somebody that does that. And if you don't have that person, it's a really hard journey.
Well, and I love too that I love your age, first of all, because, you know, we're all sitting here, well, not all of us, but, you know, sitting at mid-50s and going, shit, should I start over? Should I start this? And especially maybe in America, we're so like, oh my God, I'm not 40 or younger and I don't have time, right? But you're absolutely living proof that there's all the time in the world. It's never too late to start something you believe in.
You know, listen, who knows when it's our time? It could be today, it could be tomorrow, it could be 20 years, it could be 30 years. I don't know when my time is. So what am I going to sit here wasting it, worried that I'm going to die tomorrow? I got things to do, honey. I was brought in this earth to do things. You know, my life is not about sitting around. My life is to creating. And it's also been a journey for me to see what is my next thing I want to do. I tried Amazon. I'm doing Amazon. I'm like, okay, I'm going to try it. See what it's like. What the hell? You know, I don't know that it's my favorite thing at the moment, but we'll see what happens after I get to the end of the year. But then I talk to somebody else and, you know, I'm an opportunist. If I see an opportunity, I want to know, is it possible for me to do it? So my friend has a product. I'm talking about private labeling it. And it's going to be kick-ass. It's going to be so fabulous. I'm very excited. But, you know, life is not over. Life goes on. So it's like people say to me, oh, you should be retired. So what am I going to do? Sit? You know, I love to read, but I'm going to sit all day and read books. How much can I travel? I don't care if I travel. If I don't, it doesn't matter to me. It's not that important. I'm a city girl. Just put me in a city and I'm happy. But, you know, it's like, what am I going to do? Go play bingo like my mother? You know, go play cards? You know, it's like, I don't want to do that.
You'd be so bored.
You know, I was gonna say, as an entrepreneur, you have to give up so much of a life, I would think. How do you balance and when you're an entrepreneur, how do you balance if you meet somebody and you're in a relationship? You had children as well. I just don't know how you do it all.
Well, I broke up 3 years ago with a 25-year relationship. Mm-hmm. So right now I'm not dating. I don't know anybody to date. I'm like, sort of like, you know, I mean, I don't know that I want to live in relationship again. I always thought that for me, it's best that they have their own place. I have my own place. We get together a couple nights a week. They're doing their thing. We're supportive of each other. You know, that to me would work the best. And truthfully, I just want to get laid. So other than that,
yeah.
Isn't that the
I
truth?
mean, you know, that's it's just an open between the sheets, man.
Yeah.
That's what I want. That's all I'm missing in my life right now.
So now we've talked sex. Can we talk death? And this is a kind of a weird question, but just because it came up then, in your 80s, how do you feel about death?
About death?
Yeah.
My feelings about death is you live and you die, and it's all about what you're doing in between. You know, when it's my time to go, it's my time to go. I feel that way about animals. You know, like if I just adopted a 14-year-old girl, a little dog, and it's like, you know what? When it's her time, it's her time. I'm not going to prolong her life and have it miserable and suffer because I can't let go. It's not about, you know, it's like I want my ashes to go to a glassmaker, and I want them to make vases out of my ash. It's like I'm not done. I'll come back again. I'll find the right body, and I'll come back again.
And you're going to live through the lives you touch too.
Huh?
And you'll live through the lives you touch. They'll never be gone, ever.
I'll never be gone. That's true. You know, what is my legacy? My legacy is if I can change one woman's life, to have her live in a life of abundance and live and be happy and live a life you always wanted, then that's what I've done. You know, one at a time. If I could change one woman's life to do that, that fulfills me. You know, it's what am I here for? You know,
I mean, I agree with you because and it's not like the ego sort of empowerment narcissist. I mean, this show provides, for a lot of people, a lot of encouragement and support and a voice and hey, and sort of a recognition like, well, I can do that, or I can speak to someone like that. And it's sort of, we're all helping each other, and giving each other that boost to go, yeah, it's okay. And that's why, when people say to me specifically, and I'm sure the other ladies on the panel, when someone says to me, in the beginning, I was like panic stricken with this. You've changed my life. You and your show and your opinions have changed my life. It's a scary place to be in, because I'm thinking, how did I change your life? And I was like, oh no, you did it yourself. Because it's not me, it's you. You bring yourself to the table. And if there's something that you get inspired by any of the shows or any of the ladies, it's all on you. Don't give me credit for that.
Yeah, but that's not true, because you give them an outlet that they can come to and they can hear you, and the things that you talk about change their life. So you have to take credit for that. Do not do that. You should take credit for everything you do in your life that you change your life, everything. And we don't do that. As women, we don't take credit. We don't celebrate our wins. And that, to me, what is Amazing Women in Action is about, celebration. I mean, my dream with Amazing Women in Action was to rent a studio or to rent a theater and to put it out there. Amazing Women in Action is coming to your city. Send us a bio on who you want to celebrate, who's important in your life, what they did for you. We'll bring them on stage. We'll give them this, whatever. I mean, I wanted to make it like a party to celebrate women, because we don't do that. We don't celebrate ourselves, and we don't celebrate every win that we have. And every time we accomplish something, we just push it aside. But we need to start celebrating ourselves, and we're not doing that,
And Arlene, I do know you're spiritual. I know you're Jewish, born, raised in the Jewish faith, correct?
Yes.
But you're also very spiritual, psychics, tarot readings. I mean, how much of sort of that has helped you in your journey in life to be who you are?
I think it opened up things that I didn't know about myself. We kind of go through life as who we think we are, but then doing this spiritual stuff has really opened up things for me. Like when I followed my spiritual master, I didn't know I could do energy healing. I didn't know anything. I didn't even know what that world was about, because I never experienced it. And growing up Philadelphia, forget it. There was nothing spiritual.
No. Nothing in Jersey either, just saying.
It's like I say, I'm a Philly girl. I'm a pizza sandwich girl. I talk loud and I talk fast, even though I've had to slow down a lot since I've been in California. People used to say to me when I first went to San Francisco, can't you talk louder? Can't you talk slower? It's like, no, forget that. But it's I got to learn more about myself that I didn't realize. I take that back. I might have realized it, but I didn't acknowledge it. So I got to acknowledge more of who I was. Like when people come up and say to me, oh, you really inspire me. I'm like, really? Really? I inspire you? And it's like I had to take a step back and say, hey, I guess I did. Even just by being who I am. I know my age has become a big thing, and it's like, holy shit, 81 years old. But, I guess that is a big thing.
Well, Arlene, if it makes you feel any better, you don't look a day over 58.
Oh, thank you, honey. If you went to 65, I was going to punch you out. But other than that.
So, Arlene, when women are in transition, women have children,
right.
Whatever. And, then they want to embark on something, or even people who right now in COVID have been laid off or their businesses. I mean, what advice, besides believing in themselves, what tools do you think they should need or do to sort of, brush themselves off, reinvent themselves?
What tools?
Uh-huh.
I always tell people, this is when I have a client, the first thing I tell them, I want you to take a notepad, a journal, whatever, and I want you to get away from your house, go to a park, go by the ocean, and I want you to sit there with no phone, no computer, and I just want you to tell them you know what? Write what you want to do. Just spit it out. No dotting the I's, no crossing the T's. Just write. What's coming out? What's in your heart? Come from your heart, not from your head, because the head will always take you someplace else. But come down and start to put it out there. See what comes out. Because when you do something like that, something totally can surprise you. It's like, oh my God, I didn't realize I even thought about that. So I always have people do that first. And it's shocking what people come up with. It's like, oh my God, I can't believe I did, would want to do something like that. Why not? What do you love? I love animals. Is there something we could do about animals? What would you love to do about that? I've always wanted to do this. Let's talk about it. Is it possible?
That's awesome. So we have a caller. I'm going to cut you off. I'm going to cut you
off, Broad.
We got to
cut me off, Broad.
Are they on, Kurt?
Yes, they are.
Hello. Welcome to Between the Sheets. Who's calling? Hello?
Hello?
Hi. Welcome to Between the Sheets. What's your name?
Carrie.
Hi, Carrie. Do you have a question for anyone in the panel, or do you want to share something with us?
Well, actually, I don't know if I called the right thing, because I don't know if you guys were psychic mediums or not.
I can be one if you want. What's your question?
Okay. I was just calling to see if anybody from that had passed was coming through or not. Because I just, went on, and I didn't know if you were if you were doing readings or not.
Actually, you know what? This is a show that doesn't do readings, but I do tarot cards, but I don't have them with me because I swear to God, if I had them right by my side, I would have done the reading for you.
Oh, okay.
But thanks for calling in.
Thanks.
Oh, she sounded very disappointed.
Well, I can't believe the show. Maybe I should just bring the tarot cards here all the time, just in case we get some of the fallout of the last show, and I can just throw a few cards. Why not? It is Between the Sheets.
Well, you can always bring on a medium next time that maybe can do something like that.
Well, Sharon Glass is not a medium, and she'll be on next week. So, not next week, but 2 weeks from now. But so do you have a plan, or when you have a client, you have an initial meeting, right? No.
All I do is work according to where they're at. I'm not the type of person that says I have a system and we're going to go from here to here to here. I don't know if you're ready for that. I need to see where you're at. What my instinct will tell me, this is where you need to be. Let's go from here to here to here. I go with the pace that works for you the best. I'm not a system person.
All right,
I don't believe, for me, it doesn't work.
Hey, guess who's on the phone? Valerie Milano's calling in. So let's take Val Milano's call. Val's one of our rotating co-hosts. Hey, Milano.
Hey. I finally found you. I was on something else. I guess I was on a past Nick Casey event, but that was wonderful to hear. I've got to learn about technology. But I wanted to talk to Arlene. Arlene's still there, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Hi, Arlene. It's Valerie, and if this question's been asked before, then I apologize because I'm a little late to the party. But can you talk about the philosophy behind your amazing women in action, and how is the group a new breed of the feminine entrepreneur?
Well, because we're more powerful, we stand in our power, we go after things. We're not being as meek as we used to be. We're realizing that we have strength, and we're realizing as women that we have a hell of a lot more to offer. So that's really what the new breed of women is, because if you find out that more women are opening businesses, where the biggest growing businesses are from women, and that was not years ago. So we are a new breed of women that are going out there and standing in our power and saying, we're going to create this, and we want this business, and we want a life like this. It didn't happen years ago because I came from that place. Years ago, nobody believed in us. We didn't believe in ourselves. Who am I to think that I could open a business? Who am I to think that I could be successful? I'm only a woman. And that's not like that anymore. Women are breaking out. Now, even though it's funny because you think because in 2020 that it's running, that women are really kicking ass. And there's still so many women that are still in that same mentality of that they can't. So, but there are so many women that they can. So that's where the new breed of women are coming out. Look at the magazines.
Thank you. And I just
go ahead, Val.
Yeah, I just have one more follow up, please. What can we expect when we join your group?
Good question.
Thank you.
You know, I have to say, I need a mentor to help me with it. I kind of have an idea what I want it to be, and I'm still playing around with it, and it's evolving. That's all I can say. It's evolving. I put it out there because I needed to do it, and now that it's out there, it's evolving. I'm not quite sure where I'm going with it yet, truthfully. You know, I love the concept. I love what it means to me. It's just that, you know, I got to figure it out.
I got it.
Any ideas, Valerie?
It's a pleasure to talk to you.
Any ideas?
Oh, I'll be thinking about it for you. I will be thinking about it.
Why don't we all just join Arlene, and then we'll all be like powerful women, more powerful than we are. I think we should just go like on a glamping thing, like on a yurt or some shit, and brainstorm stuff.
Hey, I'm all for that.
I'm with you, Gaye Ann.
And Val, you would be too, and all of us. Val, I love you. I miss you, and I'll see you soon.
You know, for real. Thank you. Y'all have a great night. I'll keep watching. Thanks.
Thanks, Val. So, Arlene, I have a question. Just a total segue. When do you think a woman will be president?
Oh, Jesus.
Now that you couldn't prepare for.
Okay. No, I have to tell you, there's two things I don't talk about. Politics and religion. I stay away from that.
Do you think, with your philosophy,
okay,
do you think a woman will ever be president? We don't have to go into detail.
I think eventually, but I don't know. We'll see it in my lifetime.
What about if something happens? If Biden gets in, then something happens to Biden?
Then it's Kamala.
Yeah,
that's the only way that I could say it. I just don't say it. I
see that.
Yeah, let's not wish him dead yet. Let's just get him in. And then what happens, okay? We'll let it roll. Other than that, just vote blue. Please vote blue. That's all I care right now. Who cares who it is? Just vote the color, okay? So I don't really care. So, Cara, you have been extremely quiet, love. What's been going through your head? Because you have reinvented yourself numerous times.
Yes.
Where did you get your inspiration from? Where? What? Who?
Well, I have had to invent myself a couple of times or three. I'm not sure the first time round I got any inspiration. I think that's why it took so fucking long. Honestly, I think I'm much more inspired now that I'm in my 60s than I've ever been really my whole life. I've got through stuff.
Yeah.
Goodness me, it's taken its toll at the time, you know. Running away from the British press for, 15 years, actually, it took me to get over that.
You know that there's statistics that say that the older women are the biggest group of women that are opening businesses.
Right.
Older women, 60 and older.
Yes. Well, you obviously came into your power very young. You must have done, but I don't feel.
No, I started my phone sex business. I was 50.
Oh.
So I was not young. I was young, but I wasn't younger.
You know what? 50 is young. I'm still in my 50s. It's young.
Oh, yeah, there you go.
It's young. And when I turn 60, 60 will be young.
That's right. You got that right. And when I turn 81 tomorrow, 81 is young. This is
not the face of a 56-year-old. And Kim is 50. We're hot. We're all freaking hot. I don't care.
I think the older woman is so, they bring a lot of wisdom. Like you say, the older woman has had so much experience, and I think the older woman is being looked up at a lot these days.
Well,
Yeah, it's true.
It's when we come into our own. I honestly,
Yeah.
and I was a late starter. I think, but I don't think I don't think I would describe myself as somebody who was a powerhouse until the last few years. Even though I had ups and downs and good career moments, it doesn't sound to me like, Arlene, like you had any bad career moves.
I've made a lot of mistakes.
I think I'm also like a late starter, and I always felt like that about myself. And I honestly think that like my decade is going to be my 60s. I just feel like that.
Yeah. Yeah, 60, we're living longer. We're living healthier. So who's to say what age you should stop working or stop doing your thing? Come on. I'm planning a new thing for next year. It's going to be kicking ass. And I'm going to be 82 next year.
So
I might move out of the country. I don't know. I'm like a free woman to do whatever I want.
Oh, Arlene, marry me. I have dual citizenship to Italy. Let's go
Oh,
there.
I would love it, honey.
Are you one of these people, Arlene, that like the Queen, who never needs much sleep?
Who?
You.
I wondered if you've always been. Do you one of these people who needs 4 hours sleep and then you're up and you're off? Because my goodness.
It comes and goes. If I actually, sometimes if I eat like a lot of carbs at lunch, I have to take a nap. Carbs just knock me out.
Wow.
But I go to bed usually about midnight, and I usually get up about 5:30.
That's my schedule.
Nailed it.
Got it. You are one of those people.
You don't do that, Cara?
No, I don't have that much energy anymore. But when I was younger, I used to party all night and get up at 5:30 in the morning, and I was on the air at 6:15.
Right.
And I would do that. I would go to bed at 4 a.m. and then get up at 5 o'clock.
See, I don't understand the napping thing. I never understood the napping thing. I know I had a problem as a child because even my mother would tell me, like in preschool and shit, everybody would like go to nap. And then I would like make believe, pretend I was napping, and then just like crawl out and start making a mess and playing with myself. Not with myself. I never played with myself.
That's another story.
Wow.
I want to hear that story. Bring that out.
Yeah, we'll see that one. But I've always been, and you know what it is? I mean, I think some of it is ADHD, and I do have it. I mean, I have a very mild case of ADHD. Too. So I'm not, I don't have medication. Yeah. And, I also have a little bit of OCD, and it's very interesting. The things, especially in OCD, that set me off, the stupidest things, but it's like, for example, like I have to be on time. I cannot not be on time. And that is why
you had to be on top, and I was just like, did I miss something here?
No, because you know me well. I like to be and have to be on the bottom. That is me.
You're a bottom. I'm shocked.
Pillow queen.
I'm shocked.
Pillow queen. Known fact. I'm all brawn, but when it comes to that, I am so not. Pillow queen. See how many fun facts everyone gets to hear when Kim makes believe she hears something, and then I can't just stop. I've got to tell the truth to everybody that's watching what my freaking sexual positions are. But
listen, I used to do that. I used to be a bottom, and then one day I woke up and said, no more. I'm the top. No more bottom for me.
Top. I don't mind top, but the thing is, it's a lot of upper body strength. Not so much recently. I was telling Kim yesterday, last night, because everybody thinks, now that I'm cutting stuff. And I was talking to Kim and Jackie yesterday when we were at Jackie's house for dinner, and I'm like, there's a friend of mine, Roxanne, and I'm like, oh God, I'm gonna kick her ass, and I challenged her to freaking arm wrestling. And she's 10 years older than me, and whatever. And I'm sitting there struggling. And 2 times, she first started with the right hand because she's left-handed and wanted to give me an advantage. She creamed me. And then she did the right hand, and I was like on the floor dead. And it is so. Anyway, keep this shit. Hi, Roxanne. I think you're watching. Anyway, so Mara.
That's hysterical.
Mara, I'm not going to ask you whether you're top or bottom. I think I know, but not that I've experienced it.
Hello, princess.
But you are an entrepreneur as well, and I know Mara's an artist, and she's a very
I'm a writer too.
And a writer, and she's very talented, and she's produced these what are they, webisodes?
Well, I had a column in this magazine for a while. It was fiction. It was kind of like a Sex and the City column, but it was fiction, and it was about 4 lesbians. Well, one of them was transferring over from the straight world because she thought it was going to be so much easier, and she was wrong. And then I've done some web series as well. So yeah, and my art. So I'm just super creative.
But Mara, like you are super creative, but you've said you struggle on how to get the business off the ground.
Of
you
course.
have any questions because a lot of women, Arlene, are like that. They've got the idea, they've got it, but they just don't know where to start to get it off the ground. What would you advise Mara and Kim and all of us, actually?
It's putting together a plan. It depends on what you want to do. You have to put a plan together. If you want to do what you're doing, it's like, what is my plan? If I need to get from here to here, what do I need to do that? I can't give a specific because I would have to sit and go over the whole thing with you and give you ideas. But I wanted to tell you, I had the first gay soap opera on the internet.
Really?
Yeah.
Well,
it was called Gay Days, DAZE. It was years ago. I had a whole crew. It was when it was not live. It was just photos. But it was written up in Variety magazine and LA Times. And
well, were you putting yourself in it as well as a character, or you were behind the scenes?
No, I was the one that paid for it.
Okay, the producer, right?
My money went into that, and what happened is that we were at a GLAD event, and we set up computers, and all the stars that came to the GLAD event would come over, and people would ask questions. Remember, it was not live; it was all typing it in, and I was a little annoyed at GLAD because they gave somebody else award for what we should have gotten it. You know what I'm saying? We were the first gay soap opera in there in person, working on computers with everybody, and we were never acknowledged.
How can you make a soap opera though if it's still photos? Like
it worked.
How? Tell me.
It was just that they had photos and we had different scenes and we had different actors and we had their pictures and they just wrote it out.
Did you do a voiceover over the pictures? Was it like a narrative?
No, it wasn't live.
Wow. Okay.
It was like in the very beginning because I had heard that there was a straight soap opera. I said, well, we need a gay one. So it was like 4 guys and a girl. Because it was more towards gay, gay, whatever gay is. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows what gay is? I don't think we know what we are.
I think queer. I love the word queer. I think queer is a great word.
Although I have to say, and Alana, who is straight, we love her, and so is Cara. I have to say one thing. I hate the word lesbian. There has to be another word to describe it. I just dislike.
So does my ex. She hated that word lesbian. I'm not a lesbian. Don't use that word on me.
I don't. Why do you hate it? Is it the connotations that come with that?
It sounds so clinical. I don't know, like a lesbian. Yeah. Like it's so clinical. There's nothing sexy about the word lesbian. You know what I mean? Nothing. Like, oh, I'm a lesbian. It's like, oh, really?
I know.
It's just it doesn't roll off the tongue, and we know what that means. So
it is very clinical sounding, and it usually brings up lesbo and
But even the shortened versions of it, lesbo. Alana, as a straight woman, how do you feel about the word lesbian? Does it offend you?
It's too boxy. Like it's too quarantined. Like it's too narrow. I feel like there's more beauty and more freedom than that word shows.
That's nice.
Yeah.
Not a pretty word.
So I don't know what the better word is, but there's probably a better word for it.
Thank you. I think we all should create one.
Well, there's the Sappho. I'm a Sappho.
Oh, that's a good one. We like Sappho.
Sappho.
We should have all just stuck with queer. Queer's
Right.
easy.
I like queer.
I don't know about queer.
Wait a minute, hold on. But Kim brings up a good point. And Kim really, I mean, she didn't, I don't know if she meant to bring up a good point, but for me, just by her saying that, I'm not sure. But that's why I love Kim, because she springboards off of things. You know, about discrimination and segmentation. You know, in any community, you know, within the race, the different races, the different, you know, diversities, there always seems to be like that delineation, even amongst within our own selves, of discrimination or distinction. And I think Kim is right. I mean, why does it have to be lesbian? Why does it have to be gay? Why does it have to be whatever? I mean, gay is gay. We're all gay. I mean, I'm more gay than anyone, but you know, it's gay. Why can't we just have one bubble? Or not for the transgender.
Well, that's why we like queer.
Yeah,
Right.
Queer encompasses the whole thing.
But does
problem is-
queer encompass transgender now?
Well,
No.
queer also implies, in a way, and I mean, this is my opinion, that there's something weird about you. I mean, I know we're all weird, but it also implies that there's something off or strange about you when you say I'm queer. I mean, I don't know.
I mean, like for straight people, like they say straight, right? Heterosexual and breeder. Well, at least that's the gay version.
Oh, God.
Breeder. That's an old, no, Arlene knows that's an old
Oh my
term.
God, you guys.
It's an old school term. They don't use it now, but
Really?
back in the
They
day,
still do.
did they do breeder?
Oh yeah.
Really?
I've been called that, not in a nice way. Like,
No, it's
Yeah,
not.
but so many gay
gay.
women are having
It's
babies.
gay.
How can you say that anymore?
Exactly.
Yeah, I know, that's true.
But I mean, like you know, like I like in the straight world, and again, I'm calling it straight world. There's no like delineation of this is a straight woman or a straight man, or there's no term for a heterosexual. That's, you know, black, white, you know, Asian, men, woman. So I really always questioned why, in fact, the parties on the fringe or the non-majority parties, why there is always terminology.
Well,
That's
because
apart.
that's how you find out who your community is.
But aren't
If
we
I
just
didn't, if I
people?
said I was a lesbian, the bisexual community was, well, you're a lesbian. You're in the lesbian community. And bisexual, I'm in the bisexual community. It's a way to find out. It's just giving yourself a label so that you can connect with your people. That's what I always thought.
But do we really need labeling anymore?
no.
I like to think
Pose a
not.
question for each of you. Do you think we need, Alana, do you think, I mean, because you're the youngest of all of us, and I keep bringing it up because you have a different take on things, even though you are an old soul. You know, what is your generation, the 30s, 20s? You know, what do you guys think about labeling and stuff like that? I mean, have you guys evolved more
I don't
than
think
our
it's
generation?
I don't think it's a thing. Honestly, I don't identify, and maybe it's just how I was raised. I just didn't really notice the differences between people. I guess I just treated everyone the same, and I never really wanted to think of anyone as different from one another. I just treat everyone the same. So for me, there is no line, you know, and you know my family a little bit, and my family is all over the place, and there was just no like calling anyone anything. It was just, we're all family and we're all humans. So I think the younger generations don't really see that line as much. I mean, we just don't need it. We don't need to box people in. We don't need to call names. You know, we just are human beings, and you connect with who you connect with. So if I connect with a human being, it doesn't matter what color they are. It doesn't matter anything about them, how they believe it. It's just if I feel their soul and they feel mine. So that's really all that matters.
I love
Yeah, but it's interesting because if I'm in the lesbian community, and somebody say something about lesbian, I say I'm not a lesbian, I'm bisexual. And it's like a lot of women get turned off to that. I don't want to be with this bisexual woman because you've been with a man. It's like, yeah, but what does that have to do with me today? You know, I get a lot of crap around that.
You know, but always.
You could leave them for a man again, you know.
They're all into that. Like if you're bisexual, So what, you're not going to be faithful? Because most chicks aren't fucking faithful. I'm sorry.
Or they feel that they'll get left for a man.
Choices. We can choose a man or a woman, but it's like, it doesn't work like that. I think bisexual, you love the person, and it doesn't matter if they've got a vagina or a dick. You love the actual person for who they are.
You know what? We got Val calling in again.
Originally.
Hold on. We got Val calling in again. Hey, Val.
Hey, I think hey, girl, hey. I think I'm in a little delay. Y'all might have moved forward through the labeling conversation, but can I share something, please?
Yeah, please.
All right. So my daughter is 24, and she came out to me when she was in college. She was about 18. And so when she said that she's fallen for this girl in college, and she really likes her, da-da-da. And then I said, oh, so you're gay. And this is her mom now. And her mom is gay. And I'm asking her, is she gay? And she says, Mom, we don't label. Why are you doing this? Now, I don't know if you girls know, because of this new generation, is that what this whole conversation is about? That it's different?
Wow.
Because I think all these people on your panel are all over 20. She's 20. She was 18 when she came out. But what do you think?
No, Alana's the youngest, and she's in her 30s, but she might as well be in her 20s. Then there's, Mara in the middle, and then the rest of us are as old as dirt. But we look fabulous. But
yes, you do, big time.
But the thing is, I think this is what Alana was saying earlier, or Alana was saying earlier, that it seems that her generation and probably younger, they are really trying consciously to avoid labeling. And I think it's our generation, and maybe it's the influence of our parents' generation. I don't know, but yes, when I came out, and I think when all of us came out, I mean, Kim, you were in heterosexual relationships. Cara, you're straight. Mara, I don't really know if you ever had straight relationships. I mean, I have not. I'm a gold star. I have never dated a man in my life. But what's the wow mean? What does the wow mean? Is that Valerie Milano that said wow? Really?
That's me. I said wow. I guess I learn something new every day from you.
Well, have a cocktail, sweetheart. It'll get better.
Many, yes.
But the thing is, it's like, but you're right. When I first came out, because I didn't know what to claim, because I was confused. I didn't know. And I do remember that when I first realized I was gay, I was so excited. I mean, I marched for ACT UP. I joined every gay group, and then I looked at them, and this sounds really horrible because I called them them. It was them and me. I looked at them out there and I was like, I don't look like any of them, because I was very still feminine, and I still am. And back in the day, you'd walk into some lesbian bars, they were manly, manly. And that just was like, no. And that's why, I was telling people I was bi, because I'm like, I saw those lesbians. I would never, no. I'd rather do a man,
That's so funny, because I like the butch women, the androgynous women.
I like androgynous too. I like androgynous.
Yeah.
I even
love that.
Ditto.
I like femme to midland. That's what I like. Femme like me to midland. To not maybe a little sporty, but they've got to be feminine. Alana, what kind of women do you like?
Oh my God.
I'm kidding.
Red lipstick ones.
The lipstick lesbians. But I mean,
I did fall for a woman once. I fell in love with a woman, but nothing really happened. But she looked like Jodie Foster.
Oh, well, that's not bad as a first woman.
I know, she was very lovely.
Hey, Val, did we answer your question?
Yes, I just have one more little quick thing to add, is that then she says that, Mom, I can always change. That's why she didn't want to be labeled.
Wow.
Wow. Right.
Yeah, she recognized she had a life.
Okay,
ahead of
but
her,
I'm
too.
done now.
She might.
Yeah, exactly. That's a pretty smart girl.
Hey, Val, we got 15 minutes. You could sneak another one in the next phone call. Have another cocktail. Let's see.
I got to go find it. I'll call you back. Love you, girl. I'll call you back. Bye. Got to go to the bar.
We love our Valerie Milano. Actually, Valerie Milano is also the Hollywood Life. She started that company. Another woman entrepreneur. And you know what I found fascinating? Because I was kind of out of the community for a while, taking care of mom. And when I came back in the community, like in probably mid 2018, you know, the type of women that were out there, you know, they were all entrepreneurs. And if they weren't successful yet, they were on the path of being successful. And what I loved about at least the people that I hung out with, and that, you know, what is it? Your vibe attracts your tribe, is that the people in my life right now are amazing women, period. And we just all happen to be in action. So thank you, Arlene, for being such a preaching inspiration to a lot of people. I know you're on Facebook a lot, doing your live chats, you know, and giving pearls of wisdom. And, you know, so where can people find you on the internet besides the Facebook page? Do you have Instagram, Twitter? I mean, what's your social media stuff?
Again, you're talking to a non-technical person. So I have arlenekrantz.com. I'm on arlenekrantz.com. And I also am amazingwomen.com, amazingwomenaction.com. So I have Facebook, I have websites.
So if people want for you to be their mentor or to be a coach or something, the number's on there for them to call and have an appointment with you. I mean, you're still doing consultations?
Yeah. Yeah, I'm always out here to help women. You know, and they can always, you know, private message me. If anybody's, you know, wants to talk to me, I'm happy to talk to them.
Do you have an event coming up? Because I remember, like, before, like right when COVID hit, you were going to have an event.
Yeah, I did. It ended up being on the internet. It ended up being on Zoom. I rented a theater down at Larchmont and Melrose. It was great, and it was going to be fabulous, and I was so excited. And then, bam, COVID hit. So I did it on the internet. It was kind of fun. It was 4 hours on the internet. I'm like, oh my God, am I going to be able to do 4 hours? You know, once I get going, it's like the 4 hours will fly by. So
I don't know, because you really have a hard time putting together some words. Just saying. And before we leave, tell us the David Bowie story.
Oh no, it was that. That was that.
That was the photo.
No, that was not the photo. The photo was with Lonnie holding a thing called By and Large, like a shield, a bisexual shield, and that's the one that made. Darn, I wish I had it.
Oh, I found it. He found it and showed it.
Yeah. That, and that's a famous photo that I didn't even know until like the beginning of the year. My friend said, "Oh, I know somebody wants to put in a book in your photo." I said, it's on banners, Arlene. It's here. It's there. I'm like, really? I never even knew it. So so it's nice. I don't care if people use it. I'm not into looking to make money on it. That's not what it's about for me.
Well, Arlene, I just adore you. You know I do. I just think you are an inspiration. I mean, you are.
Thank you, sweetie.
To me. You know, I'm glad that we're friends. I'm actually honored to call you my friend.
Oh, that's so sweet. I feel the same way about you. It's like, because that was like, I was following you on Facebook all the time, and you would write something, and then I would put something in there. And then you put, I'm having a birthday party. Who would want to come? And I typed in, I'll come. And then I got invite to your birthday party. I'm like, yeah, you had some cool, it was very good. It was a cool party.
Wait, which one? Because there were like 85 of them in 1 week.
True. I think at one point we were up at, I literally think we were up at like 7 or 8. This was the big one. I it was like my coming out party again. So I was just meeting all these amazing women and inviting everyone. And it was from all my walks of life, from my entertainment. I didn't care. It didn't matter if they were people and they touched my lives, or I wanted to meet them, or I thought people should connect. It was like a networking party. And 2 friends of mine really were gracious to give me their home to do this in because it didn't. I mean, and I think I invited 550 people total.
How many people came?
275.
Holy shit! Wow.
And we all sang happy birthday to her.
Yeah.
We went out dancing at the
oil cans.
Oil can.
Yeah, after that we went dancing, and then I had probably 7 other parties.
Wow.
So thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you for joining Between the Sheets. Thank you for giving our listeners inspiration, giving our listeners confidence, some passion to see that, you know what, your life doesn't stop in your 50s or your 60s or your 70s.
Sure as hell doesn't.
80s. It does. Age is nothing. Age is just a number.
Exactly.
Thank you.
It could be a little number, a big number, but whatever it is, it's a number.
And everyone, we're going to do this whether you want to or not. Tomorrow is Arlene's birthday. So we're going to just sing happy birthday to her.
Oh, get out of here.
Well, Cara can sing well. Alana can sing well. I sing for shit. Tim, I don't know. How do you do on the singing? You sing for shit too. Mara, you sing well or shitty?
Shit.
What?
You're pretty bad.
All right. So Cara and Alana, please sing happy birthday on behalf of Between the Sheets for Arlene Krantz.
It's okay. You can just say it. You don't have to sing it.
Why don't you and I sing the goddess birthday song?
Because I don't remember the words.
Oh,
there's a goddess birthday song?
Well, Cara and I are goddesses. I'll fill you in on that later. Cara, why don't you sing the birthday song for the goddess?
I'm an Amazon, you know.
Happy birthday, happy birthday. We're in love with you. We're in love with you. May happiness be yours through all the coming years, and all the best to you, all the best to you. So keep on smiling every day, and may your troubles melt away. May you never, ever, ever be blue. Oh, Arlene, happy birthday to you. Wonderful you.
Wow, thank you. That was wonderful. I love that. I love that.
I have memory retention for words.
That was great. I love the words in it. It's beautiful.
It came from San Francisco back in the 60s, I think.
60s.
Really? Can you find the words to that somewhere, or how do we find that?
I could give you the words.
I would love that. I love that so much better than the old happy birthday song. That is great.
Well, happy birthday. So let me go around the room and then we'll sign off again. Mara, where can people find you? I love you. I'll see you. You may or may not be back with us in 2 weeks when Sharon Gless is on September 18th, because you may be doing something. So where can people find you, sweetheart?
I have a couple places they can find me. One is marashaneart.com. The other is on Facebook, Mara Shane Custom Designs. And then my regular Facebook and Instagram is Mara Shane. So yeah.
Thanks. I hope you're here for Sharon.
I hope so too. But my dad's 77th birthday is.
Oh, that's priority.
So, yeah, I might have to be out of town for that. But I love every time I get to be on the show. It's always is a boost in my week.
I know. I wish we could do it every week. Hi, Arlene. Find a sponsor. Hey, Kim Sanchez, what are you up to, sister? Where can people find you?
You can find me rollerblading around Long Beach.
Oh, that's right. Kim has officially moved back to Long Beach.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, I'm a block from the beach, and the path along the beach is gorgeous, and it's just really good to be out of inner LA for a while.
I love you, Kim Sanchez. Cara Noble, where can people find you? What are you up to?
Cara Noble on Facebook, Cara Noble Voice also. What am I up to? I'm not going anywhere. I don't even have a passport. So
no, how come?
So you'll find me at home.
At home. Cara, I think Kim and I'll make a trip to your place one day.
Oh, yes.
And then Alana.
I like Alana better.
Both work.
Where can people find you, sweetheart?
I work a full-time job, but I also just bought a house with my husband. So we're painting the house.
Nice.
So we're making it more personalized and customized and making it our own. So that's fun.
What area? What area?
We're in the Ventura County area.
Okay.
Yeah. So we're out here, and I am a city girl too. I never lived in the big city, but I wish I had. But I do love Philadelphia, by the way. Beautiful city.
I'm taking when I get to sell my house in New Jersey and New York, I'm taking you with me because you're going to help me pack, but B, because I don't have upper body strength, but more importantly, I'll show you the city.
But my sign off like always is call someone you haven't talked to for a while and tell them you love them and be there for them, because in COVID, we aren't reaching out to each other enough. And there's someone in your head that probably needs to hear from you. So that's my sign off, is call someone you care about.
You are so zen. Thank you. Arlene, yet again, thank you so much, sweetheart.
It was lots of fun.
We're going to talk next week. See, the hour and a half went by pretty fast, didn't it?
Yeah, it always does.
She also watches the show. I love it. Okay, everybody, thank you so much. We'll be here on September 18th with, my friend since 1989, Sharon Gless. If you know her, she was the blonde in Cagney and Lacey. Right. She went off to do a groundbreaking LGBT show, and I think it was the 90s, Queer as Folk. And then she did Burn Notice, most recently Burn Notice. She's done theater. She's coming out with a book, a tell-all book. I don't know what she can tell us all in the book, because it's going to come out, I think, in a few months. But she is a hoot and a holler. She will tell you everybody she knows in the business, probably people she slept with. She overcame alcoholism, cocaine abuse. She is an inspiration. She actually is one of my mentors. I love her dearly. In this town, everyone says, oh, such and such is my friend, or such and such is my friend. And the true testament with this woman is, she truly was one of the first celebrities that I worked with. And even though we don't talk all the time, she was a mentor to me back in the day. And nice. She took her and Suzanne Plachette and Audrey Meadows, 2 or 3 are dead. They took me as this little baby under their wing and taught me how to survive in Hollywood.
Wow.
And I got the symbol from everybody called a broad. So I made it to the Broad Club. But I owe this woman a lot. So I am so happy that she, is going to be on the show and share our stories together, because we used to get in a shit ton of trouble. And I'm looking forward to it. And, I'm not going to say any other names, but I've been a busy bee today. As a matter of fact, I was talking to Arlene, and she called me back and said, sorry, I'm writing emails to XYZ. I need to get them on the show. So
did you get one of them?
Not yet, but they will. I'll come.
They will.
They'll come, and yes, they'll come. So I just want to thank all of you listeners for watching. The mantra: love, peace, happiness, compassion, kindness, gratitude, empathy. Me, I had a little bit of sarcasm, but nonetheless, I mean it all. We are in gratitude of each and every one of you. Love yourself first. You can't pour from an empty cup. It's not selfish to put yourself first.
It's not.
And a lot of women we've been conditioned that way. So yes, we help each other, but we have to help ourselves first, because if we don't, then there's really not much we can give to ourselves. So we have to make yourself the priority. And I know that sounds weird, because I keep saying that, I'm making myself the priority, but you must make yourself the priority. You have to love yourself, every bit and piece of you. And it's really hard. And I work at it every day. And so my wish for you is to find that peace within yourself and reach out to your friends. As Alana said, reach out to someone you love, someone you don't love. Reach out to people you want to meet. You be the voice. You be the catalyst. and a kumbaya. I'm kidding. So I love you guys. I want to say hi to one of my besties, Roxy. She's watching finally. It's past her bedtime, but she's watching. And I love each and every one of you. Thank you, Arlene. I hope to see you back, all of you back with me on the 18th. And I think it's going to be a fun show, and it's going to be a bigger, fuller house, because I want every single one of you to be touched by Sharon the way she's touched me. So I don't care if everybody's on the show. So I love you guys. Have a great freaking weekend. Be safe. Happy Memorial. What is it? Labor Day.
Labor Day.
I love you guys. And always, my friends, thank you.
And Arlene's birthday.
Thank you, Arlene.
Thank you.
Birthday.
Thank
and
you.
As we always say, my friends, namaste. I love you guys. Thank you.
Love you too.
Bye.